He didn't look very nice because he was bloated and all the machines and that.
Swollen, not like a normal baby really, not what I was expecting.
And the woman's reaction told me something was wrong.
He was ventilated for ages, everything failed, he was on life support for I think it was 17 days.
I'd seen his little face on the screen, so it weren't no surprise to me anyway.
Didn't really sink in for a few days. Didn't really bother me too much. I didn't really know what it was or how it affected you, or if you could cure it, do you know what I mean?
Worried about him and slightly worried how he'd be when he was older because I didn't know what to expect.
When he was first born and I looked at him, my initial reaction, I said, oh no, it's got downs, he's got downs, I said.
Hello. Ma. Đi dùng hả bà? Nhưng mà
I thought I might get people taking the mick and saying things, and I did to a degree, but I just ignored them.
Having Joe obviously affected me in a lot of ways, mainly because of our age and knowing and thinking about Joe's future. You know, we're getting on. Joe's life expectancy is going to be longer than ours, and I'm going to have to rely on the other grown-up kids to look out for Joe in the future. You know, that does bother me.
The worst thing that affected me and still does is the knowing that he's probably going to get bullied and people are going to say things to him. And I know that's going to happen because that's what kids are like. I want to be there with him all the time, but I know I can't, so... But that does affect me.
Emotionally, I think it didn't sink in till a lot later, but it hit me without me realising. I just had to carry on because he was so near death's door. That poor dog. What will people say, basically, because I was an older mum, people are going to say it's your own fault, you know, blame me for it.
Obviously it's stress because there's major big issues with was he going to make it, hassle we get into the hospitals and all that. You've still got your normal everyday family hassle life with 4 kids, you know, and bills and everything else, and on top of that you've got a really ill child that's different to the way you ever thought in your life things would ever be. So yeah, things weren't all hunky-dory.
I can remember having him in bed with me one night and just lying there crying, looking, thinking how awful he was. Not he was, but how awful it was to have him.
In my eyes, Joe would grow up a better person than they did if they were the sort of person who could laugh at a disabled person.
Things are just a bit harder sometimes, take a bit longer.
It's a story about a lady that's going on a plane journey, and she's going to the Mediterranean, and she gets on the plane, and when it lands she's in Holland, and she's gone on this journey, she's there, so she goes on the journey and she enjoys the journey, but it's not the journey she expected to take. And it's a bit like that. You've had a baby, you're going on the journey with a baby, it's not the route you expected to take, but you make the most of it and you live with it, and Our lives are definitely enriched by having Joe.
Definitely not ashamed. You know, I mean, Joe was fighting for his life. You know, I've never been ashamed of Joe. I'm proud of him. Everywhere we go, I'm more than proud of him. I never think to hide him away or anything. You know, I love him to bits.
He's a happy kid to be around. So it's hard to be down when you're around him, really. How can you be miserable around a kid like that?
Well, the main thing is you've hit the nail on the head where you say people don't understand. 99% of people don't understand what it is, what causes it, how to deal with it, how to deal with you, you know, whether they should look at him or turn away or go and fuss him up.
It's not as bad as what you'd imagine it to be.
The advice to somebody that was expecting a child with Down, do your research, Downs, do your research, because had I known what I know now, there wouldn't have been any of the despair that there was there, because I didn't know enough. I've got a very, very wrong impression of somebody with Down syndrome.
I'd just say take things as they come and always look on the bright side and not look down on him or think he's not. If you think positive, then things will happen.
Oh no, I'd be lost without him. I wouldn't want life without Joe. No way.
As he is now, I wouldn't change him. Just wouldn't change anything about him.